Claire Cannon from the Good Reading Guide. Here are some fantastic new books for 9 to 12-year-olds. The first is a series called Birthdays by Wendy Mass. The first book in this series you may already know. It's called 11 Birthdays, about an 11-year-old. It's a great contemporary friendship story and it keeps on going. The second in the series is called Finally, about a 12-year-old. This one is even funnier, with more on friendship, family, fashion, growing up and learning to think of others. Each book is told from the point of view of a different character, which keeps it very interesting. The third and most recent book in the series is 13 Gifts, about a 13-year-old. And this is fantastic too, with plenty for young readers to gush about. Movie stars, lots of dancing and performing, and of course young teen friendships. But it's all in a great story about noticing the needs of others and making a positive difference in their lives. I'm sure there's more to come in this series as well. The next book is Breadcrumbs by Anne Ursu. This is one of the most beautifully written children's books I've found. It crosses over from contemporary story to a fairy tale, turning real-life difficulties into their fantasy counterparts. The difficulties are serious and the fantasy sometimes gets frightening, so it's not for sensitive young readers. But ultimately, this impressive story shows that even a small, weak, hungry, cold and hurt little girl who doesn't fit in can have within her a love so powerful that it can overcome all. It's a very deep story for readers who like to think. The next is What Happened on Fox Street by Tricia Springstub. This is a fun character coming-of-age story about the inhabitants of Fox Street, and in particular young Mo and her friend Mercedes. This is for readers who like character and friendship stories. Its warmth and youthfulness are pleasantly contagious. The next book is The Tunnels of Tarcoola by Jennifer Walsh. What starts as an old-fashioned adventure story ends up as a very interesting historical mystery. Several children are exploring their neighbourhood when they discover a series of tunnels that surface underneath the local haunted house. Thus begins an adventure that involves discovering the house's original owners around the time of World War II. There are some complex themes and a nicely developed mystery, so it's good for mature readers 11 and up. The next is Small Acts of Amazing Courage by Gloria Whelan. This is another excellent historical fiction set in India in 1919, just after World War I, around the time of Gandhi. It's also a warm-hearted coming-of-age story about 15-year-old Rosalind, and it's wonderful for older readers. And the last book is Icefall by Matthew Kirby. This is an old-style kingdom adventure that's also about the power of stories to change people's lives. It reads like a legend. This is another book to be read and thought about for older readers.